In the second qualifier in the final round, it is Ziggy.
Each with his stalkers for as long as he can, but Ziggy is going to continue to trickle out units, and now with the bunker, he's going to make it more and more difficult for MaNa to do anything. And MaNa cannot expand at his natural base either, whereas Ziggy has a finished CC already.
These are not the games that I expected today at the Dreamhack StarCraft II Masters Winter. It feels like everybody's just busting out some crazy wild builds. I mean, if anybody was going to one base in this best of 3, I would have really predicted it to be Ziggy. MaNa is going to expand right now, but it is super late, and that's obviously not the expand you want to take either. MaNa's in trouble, man.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Okay.
Now you can activate the mine shot and you can pick up the stalker. Well done. Okay, this actually worked out well. And now there is definitely some potential here because MaNa is good in scenarios like this.
Yeah, I absolutely love 4 stalker drops. I love them because they one-shot SCVs and Marines alike. So MaNa's going to be able to do a lot of damage here, forcing the tank to siege here as well. Now he has lost his shield, so has to be a little bit careful. Ooh, this Raven, though, he poses a threat.
Yep, another turret is actually going to do a little bit of damage on this. No, MaNa! You got to be so careful. What a game. What a... And walk to the other side of the map and win. He will do that, and he's not going to make things more complicated than they have to be. MaNa's going to try to do whatever he can to get one tank kill, and he does get it, but he will pay the price with another stalker. Ziggy is just going to go for a massive 2-base push this game. Like, probably as soon as Stim is done, +1, he's going to go for it. And that will be difficult to defend for MaNa because he doesn't have quick access to Colossus. He doesn't have a sick economy. Blink isn't even done yet, so that also means that charge hasn't started yet. Well, it's going to be feisty. So many stalkers. That was a bad call. I think he didn't expect Stim to be done. But MaNa just lost the majority of his units and cats. I don't know what's happening today, but StarCraft has gone crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. And yeah, I'm with you there. And I think the play that you were describing was maybe the better one, because then you can recall those forces and do a little bit of damage, cut reinforcements, and guarantee that. But now, like, I mean, like you were prophesizing at this point, Roddy, the very nonsense Terran that Ziggy is, he's gonna choose to move out.
Yep, and he's gonna unsiege everything. I won't even be surprised if he pulls a couple SCVs, because he's not showing us any signs of trying to go up to 3 bases. But we all know that Ziggy doesn't like to play super late game PvP anyway. But this is one hell of a push.
On the War Prism, but they have been unspotted by Ziggy.
I mean, the Zealots is still a bit useless, right? Because they're so slow. War Prism does go forward. The Storms do a pretty good job in reducing some of the bio, but there are Marines in the main base as well. Ziggy has killed the Templar Archives. You don't often see the Templar Archives run by really doing a lot of damage. This fight is so wild, but the Terran army is simply better than the Protoss army at this point.
Yeah, it is just going to be a little bit too much. Too many positions to dislodge and too much economic damage dealt on the side of Ziggy. MaNa is going to have to tap out here. He was not ready. And I mean, I think it comes down to losing those stalkers, right? I'm not sure that Ziggy would have felt ready to move out otherwise. And I feel like no matter what, MaNa could have bought more time with those stalkers than just sacrificing them for the tank. And then all of a sudden you have Storm as the army is coming in, maybe a couple more Templars, and this could start to look different.
Yep, Ziggy is going to keep stimming, and just a couple of Marauders with stim and a few medevacs should be enough to close out this game. MaNa's got absolutely no units on the right side. He does have a super battery, but Ziggy's like, all right, nice battery, mate. I'm just going to go ahead and take that one down as well. And a few stalkers, they just won't cut it here.
Yeah, MaNa's going to pull the probes and try to do whatever he can. This mine is going to get rid of the War Prism, but yeah, he's dead. He's dead.
He is dead. MaNa's just going to try to warp in, maybe hoping that Ziggy is super low on the SCV count. But we know that that's not the case. The last few stalkers will go down. And it is another upset as Ziggy. Another at least little upset so far, as this man has now taken the 1-0 lead in his first best of 3 of Dreamhack StarCraft II Match. He saw the command center, but I think you'd love to see if there's a reactor on that barracks or not, and he didn't see that.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. And yeah, I'm with you, Roddy. Don't know what it was, but I'm sure we won't see it again. Not in this series, for sure, right? So from here on out, I think you're right. It's going to be MaNa kind of taking the driver's seat, I think, and trying to play solid and trying to scout and play to his strengths.
Yeah. The Adept is going to... In proxy, we'll take a look at where he's going to position his units. The two Adepts are in the main base, so I have the feeling that MaNa is reading this correctly. He's even going to go for the full wall of in the natural, and I think that's an excellent choice. Adepts deal a lot of damage. I don't think MaNa should lose too many workers here.
Yeah, that one pylon's going to help him choke out the Hellions as well as they run into the natural. There's not that many probes to work on here, but MaNa not reacting as quickly as he could. Actually shades the Adepts to the other side, anticipating this move by Ziggy. Splits his army nicely, but ends up losing 6 workers. Not too bad for Ziggy.
Nope, that's actually still pretty good for Ziggy because the medevac is still alive as well, still has those 3 Hellions. So A, it's going to keep units occupied, and B, there is still potential for more damage down the line. Yeah, I gotta say, this wasn't all that bad. Great call by Ziggy not to be stubborn and stay around in the main base. Yes, there are way more probes there, but Hellions are quicker than Adepts are. So I think at that point, it's better to drive into the natural and just take what you can get. He's gonna go in once again, maybe a little too early, but he does get a few more workers, and the Liberator is showing up in the main base as well. Ziggy is getting a proper amount of damage done at this point.
Yeah, I was about to criticize maybe that medevac, but yeah, it's the Liberator that's really the aim around. Will have Colossus. There is not any Raven out, I don't believe, for Ziggy, so Colossus could be a very good tool for MaNa to try and stabilize defensively. He needs to find more damage, and he's finding decent damage with his Stalkers. He has already picked off 3 SCVs and a few Marines.
I feel like this kind of Stalker harass always looks a little more dramatic than what it is. It's like, wow, it's a whole bunch of low HP SCVs and Marines are going down. But I'm pretty sure you get those Marines if you buy a Happy Meal or 2, because those will just keep popping up. Ziggy is going up to 5 barracks, so he won't be short on Marines. I think the most important moment in this game is when Ziggy is going to make his push to the other side of the map, and we'll see if MaNa can drop a couple of good force fields before the tanks are sieged up. Because if these tanks siege up in a proper position, I think MaNa's dead.
Yeah, most likely. Is there ever a universe where you want to meet the tanks out on the map if you're MaNa here?
It's very scary, but I actually think you're onto something there, Cats. But then you do need to have the proper amount of sentries, which MaNa doesn't have yet. So with 1 sentry, the answer is no, because then Marauders can just stim forward, get on top of your army, and you're going to lose everything. But if you have 3 or 4 sentries in the mix, I don't hate that idea, because time is obviously going to work in MaNa's favor. We know he's the superior late game player, but Ziggy is not thinking of the late game. He's thinking of ending his game and just winning it.
Yeah, and he has done the right thing to try and get himself those advantages early on to capitalize on now. So it's definitely difficult for MaNa to try and respond, but 3 Colossus are going to be out by the time Ziggy hits, which is something to be said for MaNa as well, who takes a relatively late third as well, right? He situated a lot of his production early on that I think maybe he does have a chance here. 3 sentries out too.
Yeah, I think MaNa was worried that if he would take it too early after taking that much economic damage, that he would just die against so many random things, but...
It's only half of the army at once. This is looking decent so far, and sectioned off is half of the army of Ziggy. MaNa's taking a dream engagement right now. Will it be enough?
Yeah, MaNa's doing a really good job saving his Colossus there as well with the War Prisms. Still has to respect the tanks though. MaNa is not done yet. Ooh, bleeds out a few more units. He does have charge. And I don't see a lot of Marines here, so I feel like 6 or 7 Zealots can win you the game here, MaNa.
Yeah, I think so as well. A shield battery wouldn't hurt either. Maybe out of that natural base, just in case he has to retreat to it. But it looks like he's gonna kill this attack for Ziggy. And I mean, if you're Ziggy, you have...
Absolutely not, but that's just not what Ziggy does. Ziggy likes to end games quickly because that's what he believes is his best shot at winning. So I kind of figured that the sentries were going to make or break the game for MaNa, and in the end, they absolutely made it. Anyways, game 3, bottom right side. We're looking at the main base of the Polish Terran, probably kicking himself a little bit. It is Ziggy.
Top left-hand side, equalizing the series. It is Liquid's MaNa.
I hear the music right now, Kat.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that was cool. Finally. But yeah, I mean, there's multiple things that I think Ziggy could have done differently from the position that he put himself in, right? Like, it seems like the start of his game seems consistently strong. He finds the damage that he needs in both of the prior games, but then didn't close it out. What happened there, Roddy?
Well, he messed up against the sentries. You've got 5 tanks. Like, I understand going up a ramp is difficult, but if you have 5 tanks, I mean, if tanks are good at one thing, it's pushing units away from a ramp, right? I mean, that's what tanks do. They have insane range. They would definitely outrange sentries that are going to try to drop force fields. On top of that, since MaNa did go up to 3 bases in the end, you know, why wouldn't you attack the third? I think it's still a little bit hard to play against 3-Rex. I know every Terran out there will be laughing when I say it's like, oh, 3-Rex sucks against pretty much everything other than Phoenix. But I think even when you open Oracle, you're basically going to need to buy some time one way or the other. Now, obviously, that's very doable because that's what Oracles are good at. And you can drop a stasis trap down the line as well. But MaNa needs to make sure that he knows what's up. I think you can drop a revelation on the army as well when it moves out, just to make sure you know exactly where it's at. But this game will not last very long. I predicted a 5-minute and 12-second game. Remember that, Kat?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. This might. Yeah, it's looking like it's about to end any second now.
I mean, Ziggy is down 9 workers compared to the 7-8 workers he was ahead on Death Aura.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, especially if MaNa can
the Oracle now. But he's going to believe in Guardian Shield, overcharged batteries as well. And that's actually going to push this army away for now. And, I mean, look at the worker count, Cats. MaNa is in a fantastic position at this point.
Yeah, and I'm with you because I think that all MaNa needed to do was kind of survive. But as it stands, the Oracle is going to actually be better for him on the other side, right? Because now he has done damage on top of it. So while I agree, it would have been just good to make sure he survives. He survives regardless and without taking any damage pretty much. Loses 1 sentry. And he's in just, a very strong position.
We are 6 minutes into the game and there is a Colossus ready to pop before the factory is done. I think that kind of says it all.
It really does. And I mean, the fact that he was able to defend as comfortably as he was without all this Colossus tech, right? There's so much investment coming into this Colossus, into the first one especially, that it's just, it's just a testament to how far ahead MaNa is now.
Yep. Ziggy is going to get a cancel on that Nexus, which is nice, but that doesn't really bring him back in this game. He's still behind in tech. He does have a third Commencent himself finishing up, so that's not that bad, but there's no way he can fight that army. I mean, he's already been stimming around, so the Marines and Marauders are very low in HP. And he does have Combat Shield at this point. It's actually sometimes hard to see.
And you know the exact edition, huh?
Yeah, I think it... I forgot what it said. It has like a 1-1-1, and then there's 3 lines on it. Every race had one. And it was like 6 pool for the Zerg. I don't know what the ultimate one for Terran was, but it doesn't matter.
All right. So we have this army now moving for MaNa. He's confident and out on the map with a stronger army. Ziggy has a very good surround set up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There are 2 medevacs on the way that would help his case a great deal, but without them and with the force shield coming for MaNa, actually the second force shield doesn't come for MaNa. So Ziggy almost able to pick up an Immortal. Now the medevacs come to save the party, but only so that they can die at home.
Yeah, I feel like MaNa doesn't even really need to make this move out, because like charge isn't done yet, +1 isn't done yet, but MaNa doesn't care. He's like, my army is better than your army. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't lose any Colossi, and then I think he's going to be fine.
Yes, indeed. SCV is being pulled, and all of the army of MaNa continues to stand strong as he pushes on through. Ziggy is going to be forced to tap out. Let's see if Wardy gets the 1G prediction correct.
No! Ah, dash G.